are live on Antigua shipyard, and starting to the top of the map, we currently have the Terran player in red is GanZi, down a game in the series.
Down a game, man, and his style has just not been working against these two Zergs. He's up against the FX Open, the Octopus Zerg, the Lean Octopus is FXOLeenock, and man, GanZi really needs to change things up here. This is a great map for him to pick. Going into Antigua, it's a good map against Zerg, but FXOLeenock, he loves that 3-base style into the Broodlords. We might see that from him, but GanZi, he needs siege tanks, I feel, against FXOLeenock's style.
FXOLeenock is a very solid player on this map, and I was just talking about that a little bit. So I think that's also something that GanZi knows, you know. So what does he say?
He's like, why is it so cold in Korea?
I actually don't know. That's a very, very good question.
His hands are really cold, so he's.
He should get a hot pack.
Yeah. He says he wants to go back to America.
Well, if you can deal with the food. That's one of the biggest problems that actually the Koreans have when they go to a foreign tournament. The food. So many of them bring food over because they can't get their stomachs adjusted to the food fast enough.
They're just talking about eating. In fact,
no surprise there. One of the favorite topics of every Korean.
Yeah.
Food. And I don't blame them. Food in Korea is actually quite good.
I was kind of zoned out. I know exactly what they said about food. They might have been talking about Korean food, but I kind of spaced out for a second there. But CC first versus Hatch first. That's what allowed them to chat so nicely with each other.
Exactly. Would have actually been so funny, you know, usually when you play ladder and someone is suddenly starting to be all chatty in the early game, there is a 90% chance that he is trying to cheese you.
Yeah.
It's always the case. It would be so funny if one of them was going like for 6 full for 11-11 and just starting to chat things up to distract the opponent and be a little bit bad manner there. That would be so sneaky. But yeah, it's not the case. We have normal openings for them on this map, and well, now FXOLeenock in the main base with the Overlord sees the timings for the barracks, and he doesn't even have to go to the natural to know that there has been a CC first. With the barracks timing, there's just no other choice.
Yeah. He sees everything. Very aware now. You can even actually see that command center, I think, just barely with his Overlord. Slides back in the main, he wants to see the gas.
You know, so one of the things that we sometimes see on this map, I mean, we talked a little bit about FXOLeenock's preferred style, trying to go for a late game scenario, but sometimes on this map you will still see Zerg players just trying to be aggressive, and FXOLeenock is already taking the early gas. That could of course also be for just getting the speed to help against the Hellion pressure. It depends a little bit on which style you want to play. If you go into 3 bases early, you can either defend it with speedlings or you can rely on a lot of queens. But there's also the option of you just going for Roach aggression, Roach Baneling aggression. So there's a lot of timings that a Zerg can hit here if you don't want to go for the long game.
Yeah. FXOLeenock has 148 gas.
That's a lot. And so far he didn't start his speed.
Yeah, no speed.
This looks more like he wants to go into a Roach, actually.
Yeah, he hasn't started the war. There it is.
Oh,
and we are going to see Roaches, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be Roaches, and well, with all the gas that he already has saved up, this is gonna be a lot of Roaches. We've seen a lot of Zerg players going up to 12, 13, 14 Roaches to make this happen in the early game. And it's not necessarily designed to take down an opponent, but usually just to cripple him. The question is, what does GanZi have to defend against it? Will he go into the starport and tech lab? With the Banshee timing, you usually end up having the Banshee just when the Roaches arrives, and that helps you a lot. And no, he's going into a 3rd base, and ooh, this is getting a bit nasty.
Yeah, this could be nasty. Consider as well, though, that with the way that FXOLeenock is getting this gas, I would not be surprised if he sees one of these builds that we've seen a lot of Zergs do. If you do enough damage, follow up with Roach speed off lair, he might start lair during the attack and then go to that second followed up wave.
Yeah, you usually go either into lair or into the 3rd base, depending on what you want to do, because even if your opponent has, for example, Hellions on the map, if you just have a few Roaches to defend the 3rd base, that's going to be fine. Now we have those Roaches coming out, and there are quite a lot of them. And, well, we see the tech lab now going down at the factory. So that will give GanZi the means to get siege tanks, and even without the siege mode, if you have the SCVs to surround them and repair them in time, that can do a lot of damage, but that is a lot of aggression. Did he see that? Yeah, with the Hellion he saw the Roaches.
Yeah, he sees them. He needs to prepare. GanZi making siege tanks, this is a rare occurrence, but he needs them, and he needs them badly.
Yeah, he does. Leenock is supply blocked actually at 60. He started to drone up behind this.
There's the lair. I think he's going to go for the roach speed follow-up.
He kind of looks like it. He has, of course, a couple of options here, but for now,
yeah, he
the
needs the
most
first
important part is to do damage.
Yeah.
And
Look at that. GanZi
pulls
pulls his SCVs properly. Doesn't even keep him
Yeah.
on the bunker until he needs to.
Now he starts to repair. The rest of the Marines go in, and you can actually see that Leenock focuses those SCVs right
The
away.
tank on the high ground is in a great position though to pick off these roaches.
Ouch, this hurts. Leenock is losing a lot here. Yes, he killed a few SCVs.
Yeah, but not a lot. You know, not as many as he would have liked to.
10, but the problem is that he doesn't have a lead. He's still at 29 to 32 harvesters. He's behind the harvester count of GanZi, and this defense for GanZi worked like perfect, like clockwork.
I think GanZi's just finding out how good siege tanks are right now. He like as soon as he saw the siege tank fire, he started siege mode. He was like, "There's even an upgrade for these things. They seem really strong."
And look at the timing.
Oh, wow, he's gonna get this Overlord as well. This is just bad luck for Leenock, really, that Overlord.
Is he moving out now and trying to pressure him?
I don't think he should. He's looking for more Overlords on rally, though.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit awkward. I think he just saw the Overlord. But Leenock, ooh, wow. Leenock is going for the
I almost just
tunneling
spat
claws.
my coffee out when I saw that.
That is not what I expected. I expected to see speed.
Is this a mistake?
I actually don't really. I mean, it kind of.
I just don't
think
understand why it's useful. He doesn't even have burrow.
it doesn't even help him that much. So yeah, with the timings that we see, there's Burrow, but so it's not a
So it
mistake.
seems intentional.
But what are you gonna do with that? I mean, there are scans
There's a
for your
wall.
opponent. So
Well, it's not a complete wall yet, but it will be.
and there will be, there will be scans as soon as GanZi realize what's happening. This is a huge risk that Leenock takes. This is really gambling. If he can, if he can burrow his way in, unburrow right at the tank, snipe it, pam pam, gone, and then only deals with the Marines, that's a good position. But with a wall and with a setup for the tanks that we see, high ground, low ground, it's a huge risk. And oh wow, we even have a missile turret.
Oh, this is the worst part.
This shuts Leenock down even before he starts the pressure.
It's gonna look really silly when roaches come in slowly underground, and he sees the turret now with his roaches. So he may cancel.
I don't think he cancels, but I don't think he commits.
Yeah, he needs to start roach speed as well if he really wants to do this. I feel it's really weird to attack with slow roaches like this when he already saw there's a turret.
He moves out, and the harvest count is so much better for GanZi. He's at 55 to 44, and that does not include the mules. So Leenock, so much committed to this attack, is going for the speed now, and
he's only barely ahead in army supply, and his composition is just not good. Versus the siege tanks, the wall.
He invested so much that GanZi will take a lead here.
Overlord
like
drops
a massive
researched
lead.
And then cancel. The roaches can't even approach the side here.
The third base, that's where we will see GanZi struggling a little bit.
Yeah, he can't take that for a while. He's going to need a few more siege tanks. He's going to have to move down patiently against this many roaches.
5 siege tanks.
Ooh, look at this. He pulls a siege tank back so they can't even be targeted if there's a Overlord for vision.
Yeah. Playing it really super safe. Leenock is going for drop.
Yeah, he canceled it for a second. Now he's restarted it.
I feel that he kind of thinks, okay, I cannot make my normal timings work. If I go into like Aspire now, try to go for Hive, will that really work? And him going for a drop play, this is one of the things that he can try to do. But he's a bit desperate here.
Yeah, he seems a little bit shaky. He canceled the macro hatch in the main. Then now he's remaking it at the third. He's not sure how much of a late game he really wants here. He's like, well, can I make this work? I guess not, maybe. I'm not sure. Should I try to go for the late game?
I wouldn't even call it shaky. It's just like, he had this original idea, alright, let's go for the roach aggression. That didn't work at all because GanZi suddenly started with a siege tank. So Leenock was like, okay, what's my follow-up gonna be? Am I trying to play like a macro game, or am I just trying to surprise him? And that's why he got the roach burrow and the movement. And then when he saw that this is most likely not gonna work, he tried to transition again. And
he doesn't risk it. He's like, he actually was like, all right, maybe he'll go up here, then I'll catch his Marines. And he was like, that's a lot of Marines. So he ran away.
He's going basically from all in into all in into all in because he realizes if he tries to transition into a macro game, he will be so far behind that it's just too difficult for him to catch up. That's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, he wants to avoid the siege tanks at all costs.
Yeah. He is ahead in the series, and he took a little bit of a risk on Antigua. He didn't want to play the straight up game. He's pulling like so many roaches now, trying to go for the drop play. His problem is that we have
Is he
siege
gonna
tanks in the main base.
is he gonna drop on top of the tanks at the third, or is he
No,
gonna
main
drop in
base.
the main?
Main
Yeah, it
base.
looks like the main of the way he's rallied his overlords. But like you said, there's already tanks in the main. This is the most vulnerable place for GanZi, though, I would say.
Yeah, but 2 tanks are there.
Yeah, and he
Um,
can easily react and pull the rest of his tanks there. A drop play goes in for GanZi, which IronSquid has
yeah,
nothing to defend back.
Leenock is ahead in supply, guys, but this is because he doesn't have a transition. There's no transition for him, and look at GanZi immediately pulling the SCVs. It's like, oh, well,
IronSquid
I
doesn't
see
even
what you're
drop
doing.
anything right now.
The thing is, there's not a lot that he can kill. He wants to take out supply depots now, I guess, but this is like really the worst case scenario for him.
He just starts spreading creep. He doesn't even drop the roaches.
The roaches
He's
are
trying
still
to draw
burning
his
in.
attention away, yeah, so he can come into the third base here. Those drops to the south, man, those are going to be really devastating for IronSquid, though he has nothing at home.
Yeah, the 2 medivacs that are heading to the bottom right now, they are really doing a lot of damage. There are the roaches. IronSquid is dropping now. Siege tanks are not in position. There are the marines. The drop in the main base of IronSquid happens, and those drones are already gone. At the same time, the natural third base, is being defended by the marines. No
he just has
problem
so
at
many
all.
marauders, and he's got the medivacs to heal. The drop in the main base is just not really killing that much.
The pool is gone. The roach one will
Warren.
also die. GG.
GG.
This is it. IronSquid knows that there's no way for him to come back in this game.